Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. It's quarterback week and it's BuckIQ time. We've got Mike Hartline back with us again, the Ohio Dominican offensive coordinator, and a long list of other things in his career. And we know that Justin Fields is good. We know that if he's healthy, he's going to be the guy and he's going to go win a lot of games. But we saw it with the knee a little bit late last year. A couple, sometimes the helmet pops off or a shoestring breaks and you need that backup to come in. I feel like if Ohio State had to play a game this week, even though they've got some talented freshmen, Gunnar Hoak, with that veteran experience and now a year in the program, is probably going to be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's always really important to make sure your backup's ready to go. And the key part, I think, in coaching the quarterbacks is understanding that you got to prepare just like the starter. You're going to have less reps. You're not going to have the opportunities that the starter is going to have throughout the entire week to get it done. So to be able to have that backup ready to go is huge. If there's one thing I've learned about being a part of Urban Meyer's offense and system is that you must have 2 and 3 ready to go in the depth chart because you never know what's going to happen. So being that Justin Fields is an active guy and that they will use his legs in the run game or anything he needs to do when the play breaks down, you got to make sure that number 2 is ready to go for whatever reason.
I think it's always interesting to look at the depth chart and the way it works because for me from the outside, if Justin Fields goes down, the next guy is not going to have his mobility. Gunnar Hoak doesn't, and Chris Chuganoff didn't last year either. So that always seems like it's a bigger deal. But this offense, as you've described it, like they can kind of move around seamlessly and adjust to whoever goes into the game because Gunnar Hoak's not going to run.
Well, credit the coaching staff. You got to know who you have, and I've been a part of the quarterbacks where we got to understand what they can do. Now you got to take care of them, but at the end of the day, you got to know I'm going to put this guy in the best position to be successful. If it's because if he's a pocket guy, great, then that's what he does best. You have to rely on other type of schemes, other type of athletes in your offense to make up for that and get it done, which Ohio State has plenty of.
All right, we don't have a ton of throws to break down for Gunnar Hoak here, but enough. He got into some games last year. We can maybe try and figure out what he could bring off the bench if necessary. Mike's going to break it down for us right now. Let's roll the tape. Okay, Mike, like you say, you got to have a capable number 2. Ohio State knows that as well as anybody. Sometimes it's a number 3. You go back to that first throw. He's on the move a little bit. He's not Justin Fields, but it's an accurate throw going to his right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this always helps quarterbacks who maybe haven't had a lot of playing time. Or guys that they're not really too sure of what's going on up front. To get a guy on the perimeter and to get him to make an easy throw, it just gives them a little more confidence and gets the guys out here having a little more confidence too. I know we're late in the game here. This is a read you're going to read outside in. He obviously does a great job of understanding the flat defenders running out and taking away his first read, come back inside. He's balanced. He has good shoulder turn. He points his shoulder, he follows, and he gives him an accurate ball, okay? This is something where if a backup ever did have to come in, you got to be able to sustain some confidence in him early. You got to be able to give him some easy throws, easy reads that he can go on and say, hey, I can really do this thing at a high level. It's different from practice. We know that. You're in the game now. It's in the heat of the battle. But like I said previously, if you have a guy that prepares like he's the starter and he goes in and has that in his mind throughout practice, these things can become easier and easier to execute.
Yeah, we put all 6 completions on there. This is a pop pass. It's another thing that you're talking about. We don't have to really break down throwing the ball 2 feet, but it's an example of what you're talking about, trying to get them comfortable. And this is maybe the most high-profile throw that he made. Yes, we know what the score is here, but hooking up with Jamison Williams and then letting him do his thing.
Yeah, it just looks like it's a quick RPO. He's got the opportunity to hand this thing off or run it, hand it off or throw it. He's probably obviously reading this guy right here coming into the box. They're not blocking him. He's got a wide open lane out here to throw it. This is RPO really one-on-one. The one thing you like to see with him fundamentally is to really throw through this ball. I mean, it looks like he's kind of off his back foot. His momentum's still going behind him. He's a little sidearm. That might just be his action. That's just the way he throws, and that's the way it goes. But you can kind of see here he wants to be a little more accurate. I always say make it easy for the receiver. He gives him the opportunity to catch the ball in space, and the receiver does the rest. So it was a great read by him. It's what he's taught. Okay, and if you get that ball a little bit down, make it easier for him. Those are the things he's got to really focus on if he wants to be the backup and be the guy, is accuracy with the ball. You can see he's a little low. That's his arm action. That's what it is. If your elbow is low when you throw, 2 things can usually happen if you don't have a good base and good follow through with your hips. It's either going to go right in the dirt or it's going to sail. And as you can see, this point goes up a little high, but in turn it's not too bad, okay? But those inconsistencies can happen, but it was a good read by him.
Yeah, probably more accurate ball. Jamison Williams is scoring the other way instead of turning back the other side.
Could be for sure.
Another throw on the move. This seems to be the theme for him. Like, I don't know if it's just to, change the window for him or just get him moving and comfortable, but that seemed when he was in the game, he wasn't just standing still out there.
Right, and again, easy throws. Easy throws is always is a good thing for these guys playing, especially late in the game. Okay, we got to understand, even though it's late in the game, you still got almost a full quarter left. All right, let's just not run the ball every single time. Let's try to get our guys the ball in space. Let's try to have these guys get meaningful reps for when their time is to play, they feel good. Let's not just hand the ball off and get the guys working up front. We can do that. So to not just drop back in the pocket and chuck the ball down the field, I don't think that's necessary. But to have a little play action, have some naked, have some boot, quick game, RPOs is definitely something I think you need to do down here to get these guys more comfortable across the board. So credit to the offense for the Buckeyes just to keep playing their game.
Yeah, then this one here, like that's the true RPO even that he's doing.
Right.
I never would have thought that we'd be seeing Gunnar Hoak do that.
Yeah, and again, it's just a part of their offense. And why be conservative? Let's work what we're doing. I mean, it's a great read by him. It's a great play that he does, just making it happen. Luckily, he has these options downfield, behind the line of scrimmage with guys running down the field. So it was a good job by Gunnar to be able to do something like this and to mix it in. You're going to have to make these plays as you become the guy, or if you become the guy on the field. Maybe it's not necessarily taught the entire time. You know, he was probably told, if you're going to pull this, throw it. Not pull, run, throw, but in turn, that's how you have to just kind of have a little bit more dynamic, just a little more dynamic as a quarterback.
Yeah, and here we go. 6 for 6. I mean, if you're going to be the third string quarterback and make the most of your opportunity, hey, completing every throw, you could do a lot worse than that.
For sure. Little just rollout right here again. I mean, the one thing that I would say, he does a great job getting his shoulder around. When he throws the ball on the run, it seems to be pretty accurate. That's a good part about just getting guys comfortable, but just a quarterback moving out of the pocket. Your fundamentals need to be good. You can't help when you're a right-handed quarterback. When you roll to the left, you have to turn that shoulder around and point it. It's easier rolling to the right if you're a right-hand quarterback on being lazy. Okay, but it's a good job by him. Maybe not as much depth. You probably don't need that as much. You know, I would critique him a little bit more. Let's get those shoulders pointed earlier. Maybe we get this ball to him a little bit closer to the sideline, right? And and he can have a little bit more room to space, or a little bit more space to make something happen and maybe see the defender faster.
All right, but you know, he's got those reps. Is he a finished product? No, but he's got a little bit. He's got a year now in that Ryan Day system. He was working with Corey Dennis and Mike Yursich and getting ready for year 2 now as he's one step away from maybe being in the game. Mike Hartline breaking down the Ohio State backup situation for us on BuckIQ. Always appreciate his fantastic insight. For Mike, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live. We've got the practice report. We got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got BuckIQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.